All right, let's call this meeting to order. It's a workshop, February 12th, 2020. We've got a few things on the agenda here today. And just wanted to let everyone know, for the new folks that are here today, the workshops are pretty laid back. We're not conducting any official business here today, but it's good for us to understand the projects that are happening. And then when we get done talking about the project, in particular, the public can stay where you're seated and you can ask questions. We can talk about this a little bit so we can get to, so we're all better informed. But with that, the first thing that we have on the agenda is the Employee of the Quarter presentation.
Yes, and that is Officer First Class Lindsay Ziegenfuss. She was CID with the Elkton Police Department.
And
is she here?
Yes, she's
she
here.
is. Come on up, Lindsay.
I have a narrative here. I'll read it.
All right, read the narrative.
Lindsay is being
Read the narrative.
Okay, I'm sorry. Lindsay is being recognized for her tireless efforts on behalf of the children in the community. Her contributions this quarter include being the agency expert on child abuse and human trafficking, which includes serving on the county task force, and being the agency contact for the Governor's Office of Crime Control and Prevention for Human Trafficking Matters. Developing and presenting an in-service training for all EPD sworn officers on the topic of child abuse, recognizing the community needs for children and spearheading and participating in EPD's efforts to help meet those needs, including organizing a pajama and book drive in late 2019 for children in the Elkton Cecil County foster care system, collecting and donating books and over 100 sets of pajamas. Participating in the Child Advocacy Center's trunk or treat, I'm not sure which that is, but maybe you can tell us. Rallying a team of officers to participate in Exporters Human Trafficking fundraiser, a wing eating contest, of which Elkton Police Department is currently the reigning champion. I'm shocked. Additionally, Officer Ziegenfuss initiates ideas for EPD activities that promote team spirit and positive morale within the department, including baby showers for expecting officers. I assume that's male and female. A Thanksgiving Bobby luncheon. I'm not sure what that is, but it sounds impressive. A Christmas breakfast and a door decorating contest. Officer Ziegenfuss serves as a role model both inside and outside the agency by her actions and service activities, which rise far above the requirements of her position. We congratulate her.
Right here, and everyone smile. Everyone smile for the camera.
You want to have the whole team here?
Yeah, get the whole team in.
Get the whole team here. We are Elkton.
Oh, wait, yeah. We can do it. Can you get us?
I don't know. I'm going to block somebody, but the important thing is employee of the quarter.
Employee of the quarter. Do you want to say a few words?
Hang on then. Pressure on you. You do live, it'll take you a couple seconds, you know. Here we go. Stand up, Rob. Okay.
I am standing.
There he is. You got Congratulations.
Okay, next up, I'd like to bring down the Elkton Chamber and Alliance to give us an update on their business activity. And we got quite a few members. Bring a couple chairs up. You didn't know we were going to have such a big crowd for you guys today.
No?
They put us on the spot today.
Uh-huh. You're on.
And sad for me, put a microphone in front of me. I don't need one of those.
Okay, who's running the show here?
Well, I'll kick us off, if you don't mind.
Okay.
We're teaming it up today.
Perfect.
So first, thank you for having us today to make a presentation to the town. We are the Elkton Alliance, for those of you in the audience. And we've been really busy the last 6 or 8 months. I think we presented to you about 4 months ago, and since then we've had a lot happen. So we just wanted to give you kind of an update and create some synergy with what we have going on. So for first, I'd like to thank my colleagues up here. We are the executive board along with the executive director, Jessica Price. And we've been conducting lots of meetings. So we have a regular monthly board meeting, but I wanted to mention in addition to that, we've had lots of executive board meetings. We've had committee meetings, strategic meetings that have come up with a couple days' notice and a lot of participation from our board of directors. So it's really helped us make a lot of progress in a very short amount of time. One of the things we've done is one of our board members, John Esser, led us in a SWOT exercise. So we're not going to bore everybody with the details of it, but it was really eye-opening and a deep dive into our organization to see what our strengths, weaknesses, opportunity, threats are and how we can build on that. So, some of our strengths included our events, our strong arts reputation, the diversity of our board of directors that we have right now moving forward, and, our partnership with the town. We also have, some of our weaknesses, our funding options, but more importantly, our clarity of our mission, our vision, what's driving us, what's moving us forward. We have so many opportunities that I'm not going to list majority of those, but our greater Elkton area growth, the 8 miles that we have to work with, the opportunity zones, Union Hospital and EPG being really within our reach and how we can maximize those relationships. And then some of our threats, being additionally some of our opportunities and strengths. We had a lot of crossover. So what it led us to do is say, what is our mission and vision? And truly led us to moving towards not a membership-driven organization, but moving from a 501c6, which is a Chamber of Commerce, to a 501c3 in order to open up our opportunity for funding, grants, move in a new direction, to put, nuts and bolts on the table. Membership's not going to grow our operating budget. At $100 a member with the business owners in Elkton, it's not feasible to do anything with those types of dollars that are going to allow us to be an organization that can support economic development. So rather than compete against a county chamber or other town chambers of commerce, we'd rather support the Chamber of Commerce that sits in our town and let them offer the energy co-ops, the merchant processing benefits, the health insurance benefits to small business owners, and rather partner with them and support our businesses for more of an economic growth and development situation. In doing that, we've had a lot of progress with events, websites, our partners, building that, which Jessica will elaborate on in a minute, but that's our main focus right now, is switching our organization and generating a true vision and mission. And I'm gonna let Brad talk about what that looks like and how we partner with the town to do that.
What was the exercise you said you were led in it, or what was it called?
It's called a SWOT. It stands for strength, weakness, opportunities, and threats. John Esser with the college led us through that, and he's done a lot of these, but typically in corporate organizations, you'll see a lot of that. I've done some with my banking experience from time to time.
Thanks.
What that did, though, to add to that, is that was the top level discussion of the SWOT. And then once we figured out all of those, we kind of synthesized that into who we are. So the end result of this whole process is to come up with a strategy, direction on exactly where we wanted, which is the first component is the 503, I'll just say C3 and C6. C6 to C3. We realized very early on that, like Danielle said, that the structure that the Alliance has been moving in for so long is member-based. By going to a C3, it allows us to have stakeholders, shareholders, allows tax deductions for donations. It allows us to use economic development tools to incentivize landowners to work with us with their properties and tax benefits that are related to donations and stuff like that to the Alliance. And we feel that in conjunction with that and the ability to work with the state to get grants and funding along with the town, it positions us a lot better to be proactive on things that are coming to the town. We've heard quite a few times that we're kind of Main Street centric, and there's 8.1 square miles to Elkton, and we want to be inclusive of that. If the Alliance is going to be viable for the long term and be able to be able to take advantage of some of the growth that's happening and be a part of the economic driving force here, which the town has asked us to do. We need to make that change. So we've worked on revising the bylaws. Was the first process. So we're in the process of revising the bylaws. With that, in conjunction with the bylaw revision, we're working with the CPA to work with the IRS to change that designation. Once that designation is changed, we have a whole. We're in the process of putting together a strategy on how to move forward economic, development-wise, starting downtown with some of the buildings that are there. We have some ideas, and if they're still there when we're ready, hopefully if they move before we're ready, that'd be awesome. If they move before that, but
Do you have a date in
That's what I was
mind?
gonna say, Stu. Our fingers crossed reliance on the government's Department of IRS would be for our fiscal year, which mirrors your fiscal year, so end of June.
Okay.
They are going into the tax season, they are backed up, so depending on our CPA partnership to guide us through how they see our timeline fitting into that, that's our hopeful timeframe is June 30th.
and as part of that process, did you have a question?
How'd you know I had a question?
I saw your finger.
No, you may be already going to tackle this, but how do you tie the rest of the town of Elkton into the Main Street projects that you're actually dealing with?
That's actually not as difficult as a question as you'd imagine. I think what we're doing has worked very well, and we just need to, one, not reinvent the wheel, but we need to make it more broad, which taking away the membership does a lot of that, because we can work with some of the larger players within the county that sit in the greater Elkton 8.1 miles, to Brad's point. We looked at, we've had discussions already that involve some large employers with their volunteer efforts. They love to have volunteers, whether it's creating them to be our stakeholders, where they have a vested interest in the greater good of the Elkton through what the Alliance does to better the downtown and the outskirts of town. Meeting, and sorry, I'm going to steal some of your thunder, but, meeting with developers, meeting with commercial real estate, and, being more proactive rather than reactive. That's a simple thing, because what we've done from an events perspective, from a grant perspective, it's all working really well. We just need to open that up, and the way that we do that is through funding, which will allow us to open it up in additional ways, through staffing, which will allow us to have more manpower to do it, through volunteering and gathering more volunteers to make these roadmaps work. It's just basically taking the raw checks and balances that we've already had in place and branching them out. And the C3 is going to allow us to do that. And what you're talking about is kind of SMART goals, specific measurable things, and we're working on that.
One thing that just came to mind just now, and it's just a thought, I'm not putting it on the spot. Having Elkton Line events other than just on Main Street, your street.
You just wait, Mr. Commissioner.
Oh,
You
yeah,
just
okay.
wait.
Okay, all right.
But you're on the same path as we are, and that's where we're going. So, but what you're asking is going to lead right into what Brad's going to ask of the town, and we'll hear in a moment.
So she hit a lot of that. You guys are a big component of our organization. You support a lot of what we do, and we appreciate all of that. And I think as we continue to grow through the process, there are things that we've heard, we would like to enhance, we'd like to add. We'd like to continue to work with the town as an economic driver, as an economic partner. And in doing that, there's a couple things that we would like to solidify. And part of the reason we're here and the ask kind of today, or the talk that we wanted to start with, is to potentially set up goals or an understanding of what you are looking for from us. And by doing that, we talk to the state. The state's come in and given us other alliances in the state that have been successful. So we've had a chance to kind of look at how alliances interact with the towns that they're in to be an economic driver. And a lot of them have memorandums of understanding, which the state kind of pushed, told us to talk about. And so we've done some research. We actually like a lot of that. It sets some real concrete or sets goals for us to reach, and in turn gives us a conduit with the town to continue to grow the reach. I think to your point, Earl, when you ask how do we involve the greater Elkton, it will take a little bit of time, it'll take energy, take some resources, and we think we have the framework for that, but we also want to make sure that it's going in the direction that the town would like to go in, your board. You know, and we see it as a great partnership, but we all should probably, what we would like to do is work over the next several months while we're waiting for the C3 designation to maybe talk about what expectations are and what we can do, and you know, and that's really kind of the ask from today for us. But I think that's kind of the threshold, and the C3 component will help us immensely, all the way through. Right now, we work together on grant writing. We can work even closer if we get the C3 designation and the grants and some of the stuff that has been beneficial. Jessica will have all the numbers, and we created a handout for you to kind of look at, so she'll kind of go through that. But does anybody have any questions about the overall structure, restructuring from me?
When Earl used the word, the greater part of Elton, and use that too, do you feel as though you are having an outreach that actually reached the residential community as well?
So the residential community, you know, it's difficult in a way to have individual members. We have an individual membership.
I don't think necessarily along the lines of membership, but contact, let them know exactly what you're doing. Because a lot of times, and I use the same thing at my church, whenever we're having something, and I have your posters and this, that, and the other, I make that announcement, but what if I wasn't there doing that? Or any other who does that, and quite a few of us on the board do the same thing. And I'm talking about the outlying neighborhoods or things like that. I know when you have the Fall Fest and all that, it's loaded with people, and that's fine. But
I think we try to do that through our activities.
Okay.
You know, having the community come down for various activities and things. We do tend to get feedback from them of how, you know, we're doing as an organization
That's fine.
during that time.
Well, you always try to put stuff in the local paper.
the paper, yeah.
We're also, we're investing in a customer relations management system. Now, the board has made that investment and we're onboarding it right now. So with my banking background, customer retention is huge. How are you going to know who they are, reach them, manage it, see results? And we talked about that, and the state had a really great municipality-driven version of this for us to work through. We are just onboarding it, but what it will do is capture who are our audience, who's shopping in town, who's visiting the stores, and it's not downtown, it's a greater Elkton. We're gonna need participation from those business owners to, you know, virtually share information. It'll go by zip code swipes on credit cards and different things like that. So it's a new tool for us, but we did invest in it with the hopes of doing exactly what you said, is figuring out who our audience is and how to effectively market to them. Our social media does have a lot of traction. I mean, Jessica has some statistics built in. You know, over a couple 100,000 people are being reached with our social media presence, and we're doing it strategically based on Facebook analytics, not just over posting all the time. There's strategy to it, and we have a great partner in Grunge Muffin that is helping us to effectively do that. So before I turn it over to Jessica or any other questions, I did want to just, you know, add on with what Brad said with the memorandum of understanding. It's kind of like a job description when you think about it. You know, if we're hired by the town or we're hired by anybody to do a job without a job description, how do we know we're doing right by our employer or our overseer? So we really want to take those comments that you guys give to us on a regular basis and put it into a document that we can live, breathe, and be accountable to. Because if you guys want us to have goals and, to Brad's point, you know, accomplish certain things or focus on things, if it's written down, we're going to do our best to deliver on it, and if we don't, you're going to be able to tell us about it. So that's our goal with this working document that we'd like to have.
So you want to meet with us
we made a commitment a
Several
while
more
to
times.
meet with you on work sessions, and we would like to, I think if we walked away today saying, hey, we have several different, memos of understanding that we reviewed, we'll give it a shot, maybe give it to you guys to review and let you, put your, work it for us and revise it, and then come back and talk about it again.
Yeah, I would like that.
Get it down, because I think that it's valuable, it's very valuable, and it shows, if we have accountability, people know what they're getting as stakeholders in town. So to your point.
I think it would be good if you could send it over to Louis to
Awesome.
take a look at.
I mean, I don't want to lose anything that we have currently downtown. But I think the success of what you've done is what's intriguing me, that we need to spread our wings and open that wheel up a little bit and make it that broader area.
I think what you're feeling is the same thing we're feeling.
Are
like
you
we
ready
see-
to
we
grow?
see- We see that, well, and I think I kind of alluded to it, but I'll be more to the point.
Yeah, that's,
that
I mean,
you
that's
guys
what I'm
have-
hoping I heard.
You have growth,
Yeah.
you have, things that you're working on in the pipeline here that if we're not proactive at it, we're gonna be leading from behind, and that's not a position that I like to be in. And I would never have an affiliation, I would never have an organization that I'm part of be leading from behind. That's not something that we would wanna do. So we're being proactive right now to get in front of that
Yeah.
and be a leader in the growth and be welcoming to that.
I think you guys are doing awesome.
Thank you.
And the real idea behind the stakeholders would be some of the bigger businesses, we want to get them in as stakeholders because they have people that, like, there's some companies out there that assign, an employee has to have 9 hours of volunteer service in a quarter. If we can get some of those in here, it increases our volunteers and we can branch out farther. So, and the idea is these bigger stakeholders also have employees from all over the county and even outside into Delaware, that we can bring people into events that can make our events larger. So it's, the stakeholder thing with the 501c3 versus 6 is a big, we feel like it's a big.
We're taking off our handcuffs to a certain IRS designation that are gonna allow us to branch off and do what it is that we think you guys are looking for and what the town needs, so.
I like it.
Should we let Jessica give some numbers? But
Yeah, these lovely
I think
sheets in front of me.
realistically, when we sit back and try to look at what we've done or what we're doing, it's all in the numbers and it's what we have done. And I think the track record of what we've done allows us to move forward and feel confident that we can do more. And with the right partnerships, we'll be able to do it. So I think we'll let Jessica kind of go over the annual snapshot. I don't know if we brought a ton of copies, but if anybody would like them, we could
certainly send them
let us
out.
know and we can give you a copy because I think it's pretty powerful. So, go ahead.
Yeah, we absolutely love the way that this turned out, and hope you do too. And like Danielle said, it is, we have a partnership with Front Bench Designs, downtown Elkton business, and that's been a great benefit to us for our events and social media and whatnot. But I just want to touch on a few things. Of course, we've done numerous presentations over the past where we're talking about the Main Street approach, but that is kind of how we govern our organization. It's broken down into the 5 parts that are there: design, promotion, organization, economic vitality, clean, safe, and green. So that's just a reminder of the kind of categories we set up. As for the grants and funding, Danielle, we're talking about that, and kind of to Earl's point, Mr. Piner, definitely the 501c6 has limited the amount of grants we get, and because of that designation, most of the grants we get are in for arts and entertainment or Main Street area, so that's why it's kind of been limited to that. Now they have opened up the side grant program, that it's not just your downtown area, it is the whole sustainable community. So that is a grant that we're able to expand out now onto as well. And of course, once we switch over to the C3, that'll open up even more grant opportunities and foundations and whatnot. The biggest number that we have on this sheet would be our volunteers. This past year, we had 2,145 hours of volunteerism through our organization, through events and meetings. And there is an organization called the Independent Sector that values volunteer hours. It says that for every hour, it's worth $25.43. So through our organization, we contributed $54,000 worth of work in our community, and we are very proud of that number. On the back, I just want to highlight a few things. Our social media reach, that partnership with Friends Market has really helped bring more reaches to our pages. We actually have 4 pages altogether. 2 are event-driven. One is for the Alliance itself, and one is for the AME. But just in last year, we reached over 369,000 people with our events. So we are trying to get out word in the community. We also do ads in our local newspaper, and we do a monthly radio chat that I don't know if the board is aware of, WHDM and Hattie Grace. They invite the chamber in, and they do a chamber chat. So we're actually allowed to bring 3 businesses from Elkton with us each time, and they can talk about the business on the radio. It's free advertising.
How often is that?
It's every month. We do it once a month.
I've actually
it's always
done
on
that.
Saturday. So this Saturday actually is.
I've done it twice.
Yeah.
I just found that radio station, I just found it.
Yeah,
recently. I love it.
100.5, I believe, is the Elkton number. They have a Hattie Grace in Elkton. There's numerous stations. There's like 147. Yeah, but we do try to outreach through various medias just so that we don't throw our eggs in the basket. And then also last year, we have added new events. We actually had 6 new events, and they were all well attended. Honduras was the newest one, and our dinner at the Theater of the Stars was great. And this year we're actually planning on doing great for that, so everyone's excited. That's coming up. Our accomplishments for the year would be we received grant money from the Arts and Entertainment District, so we have a brand new AE logo and a new website. We even have a new Elkton Alliance website. And our event revenue since the last 2 years has increased 219%. So we are getting more people to our events, they are raising more money, and we hope to continue that growth forward with new events. And then as for the communication and networking, we just list some of the things that we do on the regular, like our quarterly meetings. We go to MML and we manage a promotional booth for the town. We always try to attend the National Main Street Conference. The state of Maryland actually wants you to, it's almost required, but sometimes they'll let you slide. So we do always try to attend those. We're involved in tourism, arts and downtown development. We work very close with economic development. We go to their monthly meetings. So we're just trying to build our network, our communication, and just for the betterment of Elkton and the county.
Indeed, to your point of communication, we hope this is a working quarterly or semi-annual document that we can keep updated, that not only goes to the town and the board, but we can, through this customer retention management system, we can actually blast this out to the community at large, so that the awareness of the positive efforts going on within those greater 8.1 miles is recognized, whether it's business owners and they share with their employees or anyone who's visited events. Our hope is that this becomes a working document that we can continue to update, create positivity and positive perception within the town and its surroundings. So you'll see more of this and as it develops and morphs.
Yeah, and moving forward, we're meeting with, there's a town, Berlin, that's very similar to Elkton, as in they actually have an economic development director who runs their Main Street. So we're going to be working close with them with tips and tricks and things that we can do to bring into Elkton, things that work for them, how they get that traffic from Ocean City over to them. So I have a meeting with them in March. And then I've also been, we've been compiling a list of all the vacancies within the whole entire 8.1 miles of Elkton. It's almost finished, but I've been scouring the real estate websites. I've actually been driving around, writing down numbers and whatnot. So I'm pretty confident I have most of them on there, but I hope to share that with the board, with you, just to kind of make it easier for everybody. And then we have, as of this date, this is what we know is available. This is what we can, make it almost like a checklist of moving through and narrowing down the property we really want to focus on.
I think it's key that it's not, I think for a very long time, the vacancies that we only worried, or not worried, that we knew about or were knowledgeable were within the North Indian area. The task that we've kind of set forth is to figure out what that looks like as a whole. Again, so we're proactive, in being able to say this is what's available, and we become a center for that economic development growth, and a hub that, once that designation is changed, we have other avenues to maybe make that work a little better, you know, and one place of contact for economic development, which I think we've all been looking for a while.
And also working in partnership with the library and the small business communications that they have at the library with, you know, what's available in town, what's available on the outskirts of town for people that are looking to start a new business.
Yeah.
So building that partnership also.
Yeah, we have to hear a lot about that. About how many, you know, vacant buildings there are and.
Well, it's strategic. If we see that there is a vacant building that is fit out to serve a specific industry,
Right.
and we can then go out and recruit an industry that fits that model,
Right.
then that makes us better at filling those vacancies. If we just say, we would love to have another restaurant, that doesn't really suit very well. If we go up to a restaurant and say, this has a kitchen that needs minor modifications, it's fit out for this, does this fit for you? And we go present that to a couple of, you know, successful existing restaurants or even, you know, whatever it may be, independent franchise. That just makes us better at having availability. These are, you know, office focused, these are restaurant focused. We can dial it in out of these greater vacancies that aren't just downtown, but what we've always done with downtown.
Another thing we've been talking about is working in partnership with other municipalities. For instance, we went down to Harford County for their Ice Festival kickoff party. And that was really interesting because the gentleman that owns the Band of Duran said, "You crossed great waters to come visit us." That was hilarious. But they were doing their Ice Festival, and we wanted to support them in that. And we think it's really cool that Rising Sun does a Sun Festival. Hartford does the Ice Festival, and we do a Fall Festival. And if we can all cross-promote each other and our different festivals that we have, we've got people that would normally come to them going, and we're pushing them that way, and then they're pushing us this, you know, pushing people this way. We're all working together, and we're not stepping on each other's toes.
Perfect.
So,
It's perfect. Have any of you been to Frederick?
yes. Yes, I have. It's amazing. I
I'm
want to do
telling
their
you,
waterways.
I have a dream. I truly do. And,
Yes.
that would be something.
We're working
We have,
towards.
we have the exact same issues that they have.
Yeah, they
I was
put,
gonna say, it hasn't always been that way. I used to play music there when I was a young teenager, and they've done a lot, and it's,
But
to your
they took
point,
it,
it's possible.
they put school bus-sized conduits under their canals there, and that helps feed all that water through there so they can make that beautiful river pond. And I think that would be a great possibility for us. We already, you know, have.
We're gonna have to do that to get some more
Hopefully someday people will be talking about Elkton being the new Frederick,
And you
or
guys, you guys initiated that,
the change.
that dance. That-
One of the unique promotional things that I just recently saw during the holidays, the owners of the Chesapeake Inn, who also own Klondike Kate's, the Tap Room, La Casa Pasa, they had a red envelope, and it said, after you left and paid your bill, they gave you a red envelope, and that red envelope said, please stop in between January 15th and February 29th, but do not open this. You got to open it when you come back. And what was unique about when you come back, you have an opportunity to win a television set or 20% off your bill or whatever it may be. But going back to focusing in on Fall Fest or even Rising Sun Fest or whatever it may be, if you started giving out something today and said, if you come on September 20th, you may have that chance. That was kind of unique. It might build some excitement.
And there's two, that's awesome and so great. And once we get this CRM system going and our designation change and everything, we can geo-fence the Elkton Fall Festival. so that anybody that walks from a digital perspective with a phone in their pocket, their purse, whatever, within the event of Fall Festival, we can digitally market to them for the next 30, 60, 90 days with, 50,000 images or more at a very small cost, but that small cost isn't within our budget today with our 501c6 and this, limited, we'll call it limited, amount of dollars we have to work with. But if we open this up to allow for more budgeting to work with, we can do these things, which is pretty exciting. Because then you're talking about those people who don't come downtown, but are downtown, that are gonna be able to shop within the greater 8.1, notify what's going in the greater 8.1.
Let's get it done.
Incentive.
Does anyone from the board have anything else? Anyone from the audience have any questions, comments about the Elkton Chamber and Alliance? Thank you, guys. Come on up, Mr. Dwight Tomey.
I think you were kind enough to let me come in and talk to you. I had presented a petition for annexation for a parcel right in back of your business park off Chesapeake Boulevard.
Yes.
And it was suggested I come speak to you at the work session, so I'm here. I can tell you when I looked at your comprehensive plan. This is in your growth area 4 in your comprehensive plan from 2010, and it indicates that it is a vision that it will be annexed within the next 10 to 20 years, or 10 years down the road. It states that Chesapeake Boulevard is extended. Now that's at Frenchtown Road. We're just talking about extending it a little bit. Industrial areas could be extended to take advantage of the road access that would be provided from the U.S. Steel.
Pull that mic up a little bit. Light.
Hold the mic up.
Yeah, now,
Is that better?
yes, sir.
So, as you know, the request is to accept the petition and allow my clients to proceed at their own risk to determine can they get that Chesapeake Boulevard extended, get annexed into town, get the county to agree to rezone the property so it could be used for business purposes, and eventually put a business user on the property that they would be buying from the church. The church would benefit financially, obviously, from the sale of the property. The town would benefit greatly if this happened with another substantial taxpayer and employer. And we would use the existing infrastructure, which, again, your comprehensive plan talks about whenever possible as you're going through these annexations, to look at areas where you can infill with existing infrastructure and move forward. If we can't get all that accomplished by the time you would have your annexation public hearing, we would probably just accept the fact that we can't get where we want to go. This would be if you accept the petition, it will probably be a 2 or 3 month project to go through getting the access issue resolved and getting approval from the county, because we have to go through that process also. That can't start, though, until you accept the petition. Once you accept the petition, then we can get the letter over to the county. We can start talking to people and see if we can get it accomplished. So,
What was the access issue you just mentioned? What was it?
what we have to do is we have to get to Chesapeake Boulevard. The property is behind a couple properties in the business park, and we're going to need to go through one of those properties to get to Chesapeake Boulevard. There's 3 or 4 different potential routes, so there's different parties that we're talking to, but one of them we're going to have to come up with a resolution that works from an engineering standpoint and also works from the property owner standpoint. That's kind of, part of the process. That's what you have to go through in order to do these kinds of programs, but it is exactly what was envisioned when you adopted your comprehensive plan, that very well may happen. Yes, Robert?
What is existing on these properties right now that you're looking to access?
To access through a couple of them, nothing. Okay, so one of them has a trucking operation on it currently. Estes, yes. A couple of them are just, at this point, don't have anything on them. So the potential would be we could either acquire them or work with the existing owner in their development and tie into whatever they might be doing down the road.
Thank you.
Dwight, I guess I wasn't here Wednesday night when you
Right.
the presentation. And I appreciate you guys all coming in, certainly today, and I think that everyone probably in the Cecil County recognizes I'm probably the most pro-growth person there is. But saying all that, I have some concerns about this annexation. And I would say I have a concern of changing that zoning from that county high-density residential that it currently is into this commercial. Now, I will also say that I think there was some solicitation done about a year and a half ago prior to the Southfields that we were in need of some commercial, industrial land. Today, we don't need any more industrial, commercial land as it is today. We've got our hands full with the project that we're currently on right now. So from my perspective, I would recommend not send in the petition. I'm only speaking for one, and I think we'll have the other four here speaking. And I'd like to hear from our town administrator and our town planner from that side. If it was already into town, I can promise you I'd be working with you any which way I could with this. But I think we've got a lot of obstacles there. We don't know what it's going to bring with the current Southfields project that we're working on now. This is going to squeeze right up on Maloney Road. We don't know if there's going to have to be access on the Maloney Road. That's something I do not want. I said that even when it was with our project that we're working across the street. I don't want any access on the Maloney Road. I'm not sure that you can show me that you can't go on the Maloney Road onto this project.
Well, I can tell you that if we go through the process, obviously, as you know, part of the process would be the site plan approval that you all would have to approve. So that would impact where we can go to or not. So ultimately, if it's in town, you control that. If it's developed out in the county, you don't. Okay?
And why can't it be developed in the county as it is right now?
Well, right now, it's zoned for high-density residential. So, I mean, that is possible that.
And I would say that I would not.
Develop then, and then it would be accessed on the Maloney Road, and probably that won't make people out there any happier than what we're talking about, frankly. But
and I'm just one of five, but I would stress to you that I don't have any interest of changing that zoning today.
Actually, there's 2 of 5.
2 of 5.
Yeah, looking at this even Wednesday night, I felt like we were really putting the cart before the horse. I saw no logical reason to accept this petition. There's so many things that need to be worked out, but I feel that's a county issue, not ours to take on at this time.
well,
I don't
that's
see
your call.
why, I'm not sure why I would want to take on a piece of landlocked property that, that's the use that you want is something that I'm not willing to allow to utilize that. Is it a road? Is it even wide enough to be a road? The access that you have now to Maloney Road? How wide is that? How wide?
It's 50 feet
50.
wide,
Yes, it's
right
wide
away.
enough. Yes.
Yeah, but it's still access onto a county road through, and I'm not.
One of the things
Issues I think need to be worked out with the county that I'm not prepared to take on.
Mr. Bowles, go ahead.
Yes, my name's Gary Bowles, I'm partners in the project, and,
Hi.
how you doing? I've recently spoken with Mr. LaMonica, which is director of North Park Parcel, and the Nolan Brothers, this Friday, and we were working on a plan to have access to Conoco. We're willing to, obviously, I know the backdrop of the story with Maloney Road. We would, unless you requested an emergency access for some reason, we have no intention of going out to Maloney Road. I'm very cognizant of the fact of what's going on out there. The project as it sits is separated pretty significantly off from Maloney Road by trees. So, you know, it's really going to be part of it. Our object here is to get into the sewer and water on Triangle Circle. You know, I've driven this every time I've been out there, with no intention of going out to water, ever.
But
So,
you have access permission,
we're working on that now.
so we're still
We have
putting the cart before the horse.
One of the things I was looking for today, more information that was supposed to be provided to us, other than just what you said you're gonna do. I was looking for some kind of drawing, some kind of proposal.
We have that.
I was looking for it, not that you have it. Something that was in place where we could say, what are you asking us to annex into town for? Annexing something that we don't know is in town. It's just like she says, we're putting the cart before the horse here. I'm still totally blindsided on this one, because I thought for sure that what you're saying on the books, but then what are you bringing to us?
Well,
On the books as a design, ready to go to be annexed, and that's not what we're seeing.
Well, again, unfortunately, your process is, we submit a petition, you have to accept it. Eventually, we get to a public hearing. Between now and then is when we would go through all that process. If you don't accept the petition, we can't start that process. That's the problem.
Why not?
Why not? Because we can't even get a letter to the county to even start talking to them about, the town wants to annex and rezone without a letter from the town. We can't start that process.
Can you interject here?
What I think they're lacking is what he said is right, it's what he didn't say. They don't have any agreement with any property owner that would get them over to Continental Drive,
Correct,
and that's the problem, I think. How are they gonna get there? They can't get there from here. They're
correct.
saying they're talking, but in the meantime, if you accept the petition, they're saying they're going at their own risk. That assumes the town doesn't incur any costs associated with that. And that's not true. Our planning department is busy. The town attorneys are busy because the planning department is busy. And they're asking you to take a look at something. I don't think it's unreasonable to request that they have entered into a written agreement that gives them access out to Continental Drive.
Well, that's
Right.
Yeah,
Yes, because we've already received written communication from one of the property owners that
Right.
we had understood was going to be proposed as an access there to Conica Drive, where they wrote to the town and said, we're not letting you do that. So they don't have any access out
Well, that was actually subsequent to my recent conversation with the Nolan brothers about
there.
that.
I understand that. I'm not trying to comment on the value of the project. I'm just saying, if you can't get there from here,
Right.
my suggestion would be, come back when you can get there from here.
Okay.
Well, we do have a plan, if you'd like to look at it, I'll give you more of a.
Have you got any written agreements with the property owners that support the plan?
Just verbal at this point.
You have a plan for what?
To show how we got this contract. I mean, if you'd like to take a look at it now.
It's meaningless, it's to me.
I would say that, I know that you can certainly present the presentation for the petition again at the next meeting, but as it stands right now,
You're looking for an agreement with the property owner.
I would say there'd have to be some things in place. And quite frankly, I'd like to see some meetings with the folks from Maloney Road and get them to support it. I'd love for you to get 80% support out of Maloney Road.
You can't get 1%.
He won't get 1%.
all these warehouses.
And I think that our challenge is, I think we have to, we're working with a project now that's gonna take a lot of time and effort and energy on our behalf, and I don't think we're ready to annex any that's just me. If you wanna submit it again next Wednesday,
I was going to say, this project is not nearly as complicated as.
I recognize that, but I would say, I can tell you, the folks out here in the audience are probably already saying we're making a mistake with Southfields.
Exactly, and you know you have, definitely.
Now, listen, I will say to you, I totally disagree with you. I think we're doing the right thing. But I will also say to
You you, don't have warehouses in your
All
backyard.
right. All right.
Show us some empathy.
All right.
Empathy is the key word today.
Okay. But I will say, we're gonna differ in our opinion. But I will say, I'm not gonna create another one at this point. So my recommendation would be to pull it off the table, but you guys can certainly bring it to the table if you like. You guys make that call.
Well, we're actually working with the church.
Yeah.
And maybe you want to say something on behalf of, us being able to move forward with the project.
Well, obviously I'm in a difficult spot, because the church wants to sell the property, and we understand, and had correspondence with the town that said that annexation was something they're amenable to a year or two ago. Things have changed significantly since then. I don't understand personally why they can't get the process started, and in turn, if they don't get what you want. I mean, today it only opens the door. It doesn't allow anything to happen, it simply says you'll look at it.
And they'll be out on the loan because they can't get the contract.
I'm not sure I understand that.
Exactly.
You guys didn't choose that, to me, that's obviously your choice, and you have to answer to the people in this room. I don't.
Understand.
But it would seem to me that it's reasonable to expect that you would accept the petition, make them prove their case. If they don't get what they said they're gonna do, turn it down, just let them go another way. They spent the money, you didn't say anything. You just said, yes, we'll let you take a look at it, so you do that.
Well, I would say, Bob, I agree with exactly what you're saying. I don't think there's anything that's gonna change my mind. You can bring the petition at the next meeting, and we can vote on it for acceptance.
Okay.
If we accept it, but
And I'll just remind you, you guys have a difficult job. I understand that. Your job is to do what's best for the entire town of Elkton.
What about the county?
What about the county?
Lou, do you have any comments on this at all?
I think that the board's decision to table this at least is proper and appropriate decision. And I feel that since this is zoned residential, even though it's contiguous with town property that's zoned differently, I think it's inconsistent with the Maloney Road development and all that. And I think I can understand why the people who live on Maloney Road are so concerned about this change, both on the Southfield side and on the Glorious Present Church side, sandwiching them between two major commercial areas potentially.
Thank you.
Some sense.
I didn't say that for applause, I just said it how I feel.
Just a quick comment. My name's Jeff Sellers, I'm a listing agent on the 37 acre center. Right now, it's zoned high density residential, so that's apartments. So the potential buyer prior to Mr. Bolas was a 250 to 275 unit apartment complex.
That's fine.
So
It
that's
doesn't perk.
a by right. So I just wanted you guys to know that
It
that's what
doesn't
it's on
perk. If
currently.
you don't get water and sewage, you can't build
No,
nothing.
understood.
Exactly.
But that is what is allowable in the county right now, and we had worked out the ability for sewer and water to get back there, so.
Houses
I
are
just
better than
wanted-
Why don't you give him the
Houses are
opportunity
better
to
than
talk?
warehouses.
Good luck.
People out there.
I got you. If you want to continue with your presentation, you certainly can.
I think we get the message.
Okay.
I just have a quick question. If we do come back and we have access on the contract, and we cut off all means of egress and ingress to Maloney Road, where, we've got tens of acres of woods in between us and Maloney Road, would the board then consider that?
I want to tell you that we would certainly consider the petition for annexation, but I can tell you, I'm not interested in the parcel at this point.
Exactly. Thank you.
We
That's
don't
me.
want any more rezoning out our way.
I'm just saying,
We bought out
me
there.
as an individual, I don't know how the rest of the group feels.
I know, I
And-
agree.
So we can't make any decisions here, you'd have to, but we would make a decision at the meeting on February 19th, if you want to bring that in.
Yeah, I mean, have no plans to petition the county for any reason?
Wasn't our original intention.
Okay.
We were under, again, we were under the
Okay.
impression that.
I mean, typically, your plan talks about if we're going to develop that property, that you anticipated under your plan that it would be annexed into town and part of your town. So
That's part of the comprehensive plan, is one of the reasons why we looked at it.
Understand.
Because it wasn't complex.
I can tell you on the 19th, if you want to bring it in for it, I don't know how the board's going to vote, but I know how I'm going to vote.
And that's based upon what?
I just don't think we're ready for it. We've got a 650 acre project that we're working on. We're short staffed. We're going to talk about that a little bit after this meeting. And I just don't think we're ready. I don't think we're ready. I think we've got a lot of commercial already on the books now. I know it's gonna fill up quick. Who knows what a year might bring? And I also recognize, and I would say that if you brought it in for annexation, I'm not willing to change that zoning. So if it was approved, it would be coming in as an R3, which you currently have. So I don't know if that benefits you at all. There's no need for you to change.
Not being need to come to town.
That's correct.
Gee, do you have anything that you want to add or not want to
No,
add? You
there's
don't,
a lot,
fine.
there was a lot that was discussed that was very pertinent and appropriate, but the county commissioners would have to approve any change in zoning, so they would have their own process to determine the change from high-density residential to business industrial. So if the county decided that they did not want to change that zoning, the property could be annexed, but it would have to remain high-density residential for 5 years.
We're aware of that.
Have you polled the county commission? I would.
We're not going to accept the petition, there's no need.
I understand, but I feel pretty comfortable. I don't think the county commissioners would accept the change. That's my gut feel. It might be worth a phone call, but I feel pretty comfortable. I think we know that there's been 3 that's been working with the folks from Maloney Road, and I'd say that they would be no in changing the zoning.
It would probably be a 3-2 vote, one way or the other.
Oh. Well, I'm sorry, guys. You can bring it in on the 19th if you want, get with Gene, and if you want to still move forward with it, but I can tell you how I feel.
Oh, 4 weeks, yeah.
Okay, what did we have next? Did we have the corner?
Oh, no. They have petition.
Are we not allowed to speak?
Yeah, I'm gonna.
I thought we were allowed to speak.
Yeah, if you can.
Everybody seems to be leaving the ones that we want us to be heard by.
We don't want to hear from us.
We want to speak from the heart, somebody who's had property out there for 48 years, raised kids. Cry tears in that home. It's not a parcel, it's my home.
Ma'am, I understand. I'll give you a second here in a minute, but please.
Well, look, they're leaving.
That's fine.
They're the ones with the rezoning. My point is, we want no more
You sold the
rezoning that
car.
way.
You got the car sold.
No, we don't. We thought we had the car sold with Big Lidle commercial thing, and we ended up with 3 warehouses in our backyard. And you can't tell us what's going in those warehouses, but they're a stone's throw from my backyard.
And what is your name and address,
My
please?
name is Betty Wilson, and I've been at Maloney Road 41 for almost 47 years.
Thank you.
I raised my 2 kids there. We bought there because of the zoning rules. We planned to die there. Well, as you can see, we're close to 70. So, you know what? This is pushing us to our graves. This is hitting our heart. This is our home. This is not a parcel of land for somebody to make money off of. I mean, what are we going to do with 3 warehouses? We can't get out of our driveway now.
You're confusing me. Are we talking about the Southfields, or are you talking about the parcel that was just in there?
We're talking about everything concerning Maloney Road. Where are those people going to leave when they leave those warehouses? What's going to be in the air from those warehouses? Where are they getting their water from? Our water tables to make our wells go dry? I mean, we're talking about the whole thing. Because the whole thing affects us landowners out at Maloney Road. The reason we bought land there. We don't want town taxes. This age you're on fixed incomes. This age you've invested what you wanted to invest in your heart, in your home. And that's what we've done. We feel like, and I'm talking to anyone who wants to listen, we feel like we're helpless. We feel like we're being bullied. And for me, my fear is public speaking. But a greater fear is for me to stand quiet. Because I feel this is the right thing. To be left alone. And to be considered the tax-paying people we've been for Thank you.
Thank you. Well, well, listen, we're not finished our meeting yet. We're gonna, but I'm gonna go, if you want to, listen, I'm gonna go ahead and open up the floor now. Then if you want to leave, you can leave after, but we still have more business. Mrs. Brown, go ahead.
I want to tell you, I don't know whether the people know, but Cecil County is mostly clay. I remember when Bill Kemp, they had wanted Bill Kemp to open up his property and make a brick factory. Do you remember that?
They built a golf course across the street on it.
Yeah, do you remember him denying the fact that they wanted him to make a brick? Well, and look at Turkey Point, it's nothing but gravel. Hell, if I had known that, we would have sold the property. It's nothing but gravel. But anyway, this past storm, I took pictures of Crouchy's Field. It was underwater. And I can't get the damn pictures developed. There's nobody, I have to go to Towson to get the pictures developed. They sell cameras and film, but you can't get them developed.
Oh my gosh.
So anyway, I'll get them developed and have them next week. So Crouchy's Field is nothing but marshland. It's been declared wetlands. And I have paperwork, you've been away, I can't get a hold of you.
Oh, I was in the hospital all week.
You were away, right? Anyway, Mr. McConnell lives across the street from those wells that the Elkton took the 2 million gallons and his well went dry and the town of Elkton had to supply him with water, I don't know, for like a year. But he gave me all his paperwork, back and forth to the environmental division. Oh, it was wonderful. Anyway, these are not people, they're victims. Every damn one of them in this county are victims right now because these people from wherever they came from, they saw suckers and weak individuals that they preyed on. And it looks like they're winning. They're going to go forth with the Southfields. Shame, oh shame. It's almost like prostitutes selling themselves, selling the victims that they have. That's a shame. It's a shame. It's called Shantytown right now. I'm getting that word and I'm thinking, oh dear God, they call it Shantytown. Fix up your town. There's so many empty buildings in town, they're dilapidated. That's all.
Thank you. Yes, sir. No, I'm
My
sorry.
name's Joe Kenny. I live at 310 Maloney Road. I can show you proof of the pollution on my 2 acres that I have on Maloney Road. Anybody wants to see it, come out and I'll show you.
Thank you. Yes, ma'am.
I also live on Maloney Road, and I'm a realtor and a property manager.
And your name, please?
It's Helen Boyer.
Thank you.
And I've known that piece of parcel's been for sale for a long time. It's only half of it is wetlands. And I pulled up the information when it was on the market, when it went off last year in September or December. So there's only so many houses they can build in there as residential, because it says it's zone DR. And so if it's annexed into town, they can of course do whatever they want. They can build 500, whatever they want.
They can only build what
But
they're allowed.
the entrance goes in from from Maloney Road into this property. So I think a lot of times when these people stand up here, I've been coming to the meetings because my friend Don would come. I think when they present their ideas, I do not think they give you the whole story. Because they know that there's an entrance in Maloney Road. Because when the church bought the property, they had to build a bridge because
I'm aware of that entrance.
They had to build a bridge. So if they annex into town, that trucking company is right there, their tractor trailers will come there. Not only that, people are going to take the back roads because we all, anybody that lives in Maloney Road or Frenchtown Road, we all take the back roads to avoid Route 40 because of the traffic, 40 and 213. And I have this, and there's also some information that was sent to June about, and it also says about the town water and sewer and everything. And it said, as you may know, the best use for this property will depend on the availability of municipal water and sewer. If your engineers can provide the maximum gallons per day flow, the town is willing to allocate to this project. We will be in a better position to attract a suitable developer. keep in mind, this is the parcel of land that could connect Chesapeake Boulevard with the secondary entrance of Maloney Road.
Thank you.
It enters into Southfields eventually. And we're
And,
going
you
to
know,
have a big
I just
mess.
think that when people come in, just from my observation, I hear them say their thing, but they leave out a lot of information. And people sitting up there, if you're not familiar with the area, you don't know everything they're trying to sell you. And then they get it and they do what they want to do.
Thank you. Yes, sir.
And I commend you on your action just recently on this project on 659. I used to go to Glorious Residence years ago. They've owned that property for probably 15 years, maybe longer. They got that in exchange for another piece of property up to that point. But I think, seriously, we should make sure this stays tabled until after Southfields is resolved. And I don't have an extra ground in this new piece of property, but the property owners there, their houses right now are going down because of Southfields. You get another PUD across the street, and that's where I think they're going with this new annexation. They're going to annex, they're going to say, now we want a PUD, and then we're going to have more warehouses. I think we need to think about Elkton. I really am.
Thank you.
I don't see eye to eye with you,
Yep.
but this time I do.
Understand.
Need your name and address.
Your name again, sir.
Derek Collins. I'm not a resident, but I own property.
Understand.
Okay?
Yes, sir. Go ahead.
Amos Wilson, 41 Maloney Road. This rezoning changes has been a nightmare for us, as my wife said. As far as the county, we can't even get our road blacktop. They stone and chip it, because there's no money. Unless you're some kind of developer like Ray Jackson, tax breaks, or anything like that, doesn't live in Cecil County, or his lawyers, or whoever's working with him. We do, all the residents out there. Now we're putting up, with the Southfield, the 3 warehouses, dust, noise, we got a kid killed on every road out there, secondary, Williams, Frenchtown, Maloney Road, since I've been out there. They can't handle it anymore. Everybody now uses it as a cut through. The road's falling apart. It just seems that we're in the county, we wanted to be in the county. We've got our own wells. I know last time you put those test wells out there, wells went dry. People had to replace them. People have horses, cattle, chickens. It's a nice rural place to raise kids. And now with these 3 warehouses, property values dropping, Elkton's not going to pick that difference up. This project is going to be, what, 4 to 6 years. You've got dust, noise, pollution. Characteristics of the warehouse is 7 days a week, 24 hours a day. That's how you make your money. Ray Jackson's not going to live out there. So this is all wrong. This is just another thing on your transparency. It's okay, but it depends on your perspective. If you're laying there and your heat's going to be cut off, or you got somebody telling you, hey, it's going to be okay in the next world, you can see the difference we're dealing with. I understand growth. I spoke at the first meeting. You have I-95 interchange over here, commercial, great location, great access to tractor and trailers, diesel. You don't out there. These things are going to be running through your town. 53-foot trailers, 70, 80,000 pound, bad job. Diesel, the carbon exhaust is not good for lung cancers or leukemia, and it's a big factor with that. And I've been to a lot of their meetings, and I understand your growth, but now we're getting hit with this. I'm still upset about these 3 warehouses. I hope it doesn't work. With the tax rates, there's people being here being millionaires at their expense. I'll bet you our property value now is half what it was. And just like our water and septic, 15 grand for a septic system, we did that. Or 15 grand for a well, we did that. The additional sewer system, 7 or 8 grand. You try to keep your house nice, keep things cleaned up, and now we're going to have dust and dirt for the next 4 to 8 years, and Jackson will be sitting somewhere in Barbados or something, and it's just not right. You picked the wrong location, and I appreciate your support. I hope the rest of you support, not to change this zoning out here. Maloney Road, there's no sidewalks, there's no nothing, and that's fine. But the road's busting up. Princeton's not that good. And I've talked to the county. There's no money. What people like Jackson do and these other developers for this 37.7 acres, once you sign off on that, Once they walk away, I checked out the developer that they're gonna use to build all these houses, they're done with it. If these places don't sell, 330,000 in Cecil County there, good luck with that. They're gonna stack apartments in here like you've never seen before. More traffic, more overcrowding, kids run around, not too much to do. I know you've got that plan across the street, but good luck with that, because it's all about money. This is a bad deal, but I appreciate your support. I hope you others support not to do anything down there. We've got 37.7 acres. But these 3 warehouses are a bad job. It's gonna be completely held in the county now. It's a great place. It's got an acre or acre and a half. But we've been kind of sold out here on that. The people in Elkton don't have these warehouses behind them. They're not gonna have this massive development. And it's just a bad deal.
Thank you.
John Connolly asked me to ask you if you could possibly ban commercial truck traffic on Maloney Road. And I personally don't see how there can be a sentence there, but he asked me to bring it up, so I'm bringing it up. I also don't see how.
No, that's a good point, but that would be a county, it's actually a county road, but I do want to address a couple of things real quickly in your comment, Mr. Wilson. I want to make it very clear that, so everyone's here, the Southfields project, there has not been any tax breaks or incentives given by the town of Elkton on any of that parcel, so I don't know exactly where that's come from. Now, they tried to do the enterprise zone on this parcel. The town of Elkton has not accepted any of that. Now, the only breaks that the folks from Southfield will be getting is going to be the same breaks that any resident in the town of Elkton can get as far as residential hookups. We've got an ordinance now that till 2022 that there's no hookup fees for residential. So anywhere where they're building residential, there's not going to be any hookup fees. But that can be given to anyone throughout the town of Elkton. So there's no incentive other than the opportunity zone, and that was something that President Trump put in place in November of 2018. I appreciate you telling me about the wells, but did we ever have problems with the wells on Maloney Road? Did we do something?
The well number, we had three exploratory wells. Only one of them we ran a 48-hour test on, and it affected a well on Bridgetown Road in the area
Bill
near the
McConnell.
well. And 2 other wells also. The town replaced one well entirely and well pumps in 2 others. But we haven't withdrawn water out of that well since 2006.
Okay.
More questions?
No, we're not.
no pumps or
You're
anything.
not going
So this is in 2006, we haven't pumped any water out of,
No, after our test.
but you're talking about the well on the Crouchy farm.
Yeah.
I think they're talking, aren't you talking about down at Maloney Road, some of the wells went
People
dry?
had to put new wells in.
That had nothing, did that have anything to do with us?
No, that's too far away.
That was a long time.
That was in the same period. But I do want to talk to you about housing density. If you do a single family home or a duplex, you have a certain area that it can be built on. I read in the paper that they're trying to reduce that area, but they've already proposed that to you.
They proposed a reduction, that, to give you an example, that 650 acres of Southfields, we saw some drawings in here a few years ago, and it was like 3,500 to 5,000 homes through there. The amount of single families that are going to go in there now, I think it's under 700. It's under 700 homes.
So the density's not going to be changed for what you have now for the, okay.
No, they're not putting any more than 700 single families. And quite frankly, do I think that they're going to sell? I just don't know.
Too close to 3 warehouses.
And we have no access on Maloney Road.
No access on Maloney Road to Southfields project.
Or the warehouses, right?
No.
Okay, then maybe keep those signs up and add some more about no deliveries, no
No.
trucks, no nothing.
Other than what's coming
Why
down
don't
the
they just
Sentence
make a
currently.
dead end for Maloney
But
Road
they
and
do.
leave us the hell alone, you know?
Understand.
Well, we do have that weight restriction on Maloney Road established in the county anyway.
Yeah, there's not going to be any truck traffic on
We're not gonna put that on there.
from Southfields. Yes, sir.
Yeah, I'm Tim Cornell with 330 Maloney Road. When they drilled the wells for Artesian right over the Delaware line, everybody's well on Maloney.
There you go.
Dry. So when you start pumping out of that other place to feed all these warehouses, probably go dry again.
Yeah, that's right.
And traffic is a major concern. You can't get out of Maloney Road now, you have to make a right turn, there's not enough room to make a U-turn and come back. And these warehouses definitely gonna decrease the property value, because you can't tell me if you look out the window and see trees and deers, and then you turn around and see a warehouse, the price ain't gonna go down.
I understand.
And the people, you say there won't be no access to Maloney Road, but if I bought a house down there at the corner of Frenchtown Road and I had to leave, I wouldn't go up through town and up 40, I'd go right on down Frenchtown Road to hit the Delaware. So you're gonna overload us all the way around, we're overloaded now. And I appreciate what you've done for us today with this project now, because I figured once you approve that, then they'd approve out next and there'd be townhouses everywhere. It's a country area. I would like to see Elkton adapt something like one house per acre, so we're not Baltimore or Wilmington. I didn't want to live in Baltimore or Wilmington, that's why I bought here.
Understand.
And I appreciate anything you can do for us.
Thank you. Okay, let's conduct the rest of our business. Lou, did you have anything?
No thanks.
Okay, I had a couple things here. One, I don't think this is really a town issue, but I'm not sure what direction she can go. I spoke to Kathy Parsons over at Best Vacations across the street, and she asked a question to me. We have the bus stops. We have a bus stop right there, right next to her business. And one of her, she's a rep for Sandals. I guess we're all familiar with Sandals, the resort that you go to. So they had asked if they could put that, like a screen that would have Sandals and kind of pointing toward Best Vacations, that they could order a Sandals package through Best Vacation. That's not really our issue anyhow. That would be, is it a county bus stop?
We don't own that bus stop.
Okay, so I'm gonna direct her to go see the county, but I said that she couldn't block any view or any of that. All right, so that's good. Can you make sure that Kathy goes to, that it was addressed here? And I had a couple things. I know that with all this planning process that we're going through, and I believe that we probably need to move forward, Lou, in some way of getting Gene some help. And I think that we probably should look at trying to see how we can do it through the budgeting process, or we can start to move forward with, I want to say, I know that Gene needs some help. And I don't, and maybe that person could be with us for many, 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 many years. We'd like to keep Gene Minner for the next 50 years, but she keeps telling me 2 more years and she's gone. So I think that we, as a town, we need to start planning ahead also to make sure that we have the appropriate person in place, and we'll make sure that Gene does all the correct training. Okay, that's one. Secondly, we have in 2022, and I brought this up to Lou, and I spoke to the chief about it, and I just wanted to bring the board up to snuff with it. But we have a drop program with our police department, and currently we're going to be losing in 2022, I think it's 5 or 6 officers that they're done. I mean, they'll be leaving at the same time, and it's 3 people. And
2022 will be
3. I think it's 4 if you
well, if you don't count.
you count the chief.
Okay, so we got 3 in 20. Okay, we got 3 in 2022, and we're currently, I think, 3 officers short right now. And I think we put a hiring freeze last year. But I think that we need to kind of open that door back up again, and it's going to take a little bit of a process to get those officers hired. But we don't need to make a decision here today. I just wanted to put it in your ear. I think that we need to get Lou to loosen up, and let's move forward with those 3 police officers to get them in there and move forward with it. If he can figure it out, how? I know it all comes down to the dollar and cents. I absolutely recognize that. But But those were the couple things I had on my mind. Gene, you have anything?
No, I'm glad to hear though. I'd like us to move forward with allowing Jean or you to pursue a replacement or an additional employee to help her out.
Perfect. Charles?
I don't have anything to add, but I concur with Eugene some help, and also Lois needs to, I know not to her expedite trying to get police officers out there because, you know, people are not going in that field like they used to. It's almost like a teacher graduating and trying to get a job. They become very selective.
Yes, they do. Earl? Rob?
No, I have nothing. I'm glad that we were able to ease the people from Maloney Road, ease their minds just a bit. We feel for you, believe me.
This is for the town of Elkton. Can I ask you one question?
Yeah.
What do you intend to do about the old pulp mill off of Maple Street? Do you
Yeah.
even know it's there?
We know it. We know it's there, and we know it very well. And
It's been there 100 years.
it's a fantastic property. I'd love for you to buy it and renovate it and put a couple restaurants in there. And
Did you put anything out to let people know, hey, it's there?
there's currently, I can tell you there's currently some environmental issues, as with a lot of these old plants that's in our community. It is for sale. Just as of last week, there was 2 individuals interested in it that reached out to the owner. About a year and a half ago, we had a group, in fact, a group that did the project across the street had interest in making it maybe like a senior housing project with some restaurants in there and so forth. But I have to tell you, it's one of the most beautiful properties in the town. You got waterfront right through there. It would be gorgeous. So I'm asking everyone here to help find someone to take that property and build on it. Then we won't have to go out anywhere else. We can do it within. Need some help.
Yeah, maybe it would have been a wise idea to do that, fix the environmental problems there, instead of creating environmental problems for us homemakers. That would have been a wise choice. And I really do appreciate your help, and I hope you keep your word, because I haven't had much luck trusting the town with the way they snuck in the warehouses. So, it is what it is. So I'm hoping you show us more empathy, truth and honesty, and be honest with the way you present things, and don't leave half of it out. Mr. Tomey never even mentioned Maloney Road when he was trying to get you to rezone. But luckily, some of you people knew that.
Thank you. Anyone else have anything to say? Meeting adjourned. Thank you.